Hey, what's up, everybody? As you can probably guess, new Gundam again. So yeah, it's uh, it's been a fun time this week. I uh, I don't really know much else to say. Obviously, the episode was of good quality, consisting of good animation, voice acting, direction, story. Dog, I'm gonna be real. Like, this is a massive production with some heavy hitters, and it's also directed by Ono, right? So it's gonna be good. But in that, um, I'm gonna be real. Uh, I, I, this is gonna sound really bad, but like, I think Ono directing it is kind of causing a few issues. Um, well, I guess issue. I don't know. It's a very hard thing to quantify, but I guess I'm gonna try it in this rambling section. So, Ono, right? This is secondhand information, but I've heard before that he wanted to distinguish himself from Evangelion, right? Okay, cool. You don't want to be the Ava guy. You want to do more than just the Ava stuff. So, quick question: why then do you keep bringing back Ava? Like, obviously, everyone's brought up, oh, uh, the gremlin. She lives in the same kind of apartment that Shinji does. Okay, that's one Ava thing. But then in this episode, guess what? Uh, our main protagonist, she leans into someone she's interested in while they are sleeping, and once she gets once her face gets very close to um the guy, I forget his name, but yeah, as soon as her face gets really close to the guy, she then discovers key information by him admitting something in his sleep, which allows them and us, the audience, to get a better understanding of him as a person. That's very similar to in Evangelion episode 9 in, both of you dance like you want to win. And like, okay, so you want to distinguish yourself from Ava, but I keep seeing reference after reference after reference to Ava, right? So what is it? But then also, it's copying a plot point from A. And don't get me wrong, I like Ava. It's just odd, But not much you can really do. Anyway, I have obviously been enjoying most of the episode, though, although I'm going to keep bringing this point up until it finally gets addressed in the actual show. So we it's kind of been built up that, like, we have a not dual protagonist, but our first female protagonist, and then we have a secondary character, the girl with the blue hair, and she's supposed to be a very major component of the show as well. And she has done nothing. All she did was sure, she did stuff in episode 1, but newsflash, it's not episode 1. That's why this video is titled episode 4, right? But I just cannot in good faith say that she has contributed a lot to the plot. And this is we're a third of the way through. So I would like for a main character to feel important to the actual show, right? But yeah, apart from that, that's most of the negative stuff out of the way. Getting into the positive stuff, I really do like the interactions between our little gremlin and the witch. I think it's good, and I think it pushes the plot forward. On top of that, the fight scenes continually get better and better. I would say that each time the Gundam moves into action, you feel like he's a very professional pilot, or is at least very in tune with what the Gundam is. And you can see that with how he fights. On top of that, you can see our main protagonist getting better and better at, well, piloting the Gundam. That's nice. That's some good progression. And it leads me to believing, hey, she's getting better. And it feels real. It feels like she's putting in the effort in order to rank up in the world as a pilot and as a fighter for her team, right? On top of that, we do get some explanation and character backstory for the 1 Year War and some of the stuff that went down. And, Char was doing Char things and murdering people. And this directly came back to bite our main protagonist in the butt, because now the witch wanted to murder, well, the Red Gundam. Even if Char wasn't in it, she wanted to blow up that mobile suit, right? And, this led to a fight ensuing, and, well, overall, it gave a bittersweet ending with the pilot finally realizing, she finally let go of her hatred for the Red Gundam and instead appreciated just how pure the pilot's soul was. It still is bittersweet because, yeah, she does have a family back home that she's never going to see again. Now, to be fair, the show tried to play it up like this was a dramatic character death. And, I mean, it technically was. By the, simplest technical term. Yes, this was a dramatic portion of the show where we were meant to feel lots of emotions for this character. And, that's true. I did, but as far as how the actual death impacts the show is going to be more impact than the actual impact on the viewers, Just because I don't think she built up enough. She just showed up this episode and died. Let's be real. Then she proceeded to not interact with many of the main cast. So while we did get a backstory for her, this ain't no Oda backstory. You can try, but it's not that in depth. It just gives us all the information we need to know and then lets us move on with our lives, right? So I would say that her death, simply put, did not hit the emotional beats, but it did hit the plot beats, right? So it's all right. It's fine. It's not something I really would say is gonna, completely destroy the show and it's gonna mess up, but I continuously see the flaws again and again and again, and they keep going down, right? And while the initial hype has been wearing off, I think that scores will reflect that. And if I'm being real, I think over time I'm starting to get less and less impressed just because every single week I've been seeing it, and I feel A, that there isn't major progression, and B, I would say while I like the characters, I wouldn't say there's anything that necessarily stands out to the level where I am truly invested in anyone except maybe our main character. And even then, she's not she's not the reason I'm watching. I just enjoy watching her because she's frankly insane. Now, overall, I know that's been quite a negative review this week, but overall, I am still going to give it a positive score. I'm probably going to give it a 7 out of 10. Because objectively, it was a solid episode with some solid writing, solid character, but overall, it's lacking the emotional power that a really good episode of Gundam has. It's lacking some of the dramatic tension that Gundam normally has. And I feel that Ono is starting to reuse content from his older shows. And while I necessarily don't mind it, I cannot give it full points for bringing back a plot point from another show, unless it provided a really unique spin on it, which I don't believe this does. So overall, I know I've been very negative, but hey, a 7 out of 10 is not that bad of a score if we're being real, okay? That's 70%. That's a pass, okay? I know. I've sounded pretty negative, but yeah. Anyway, I'm heading out, folks. I hope you all enjoyed the episode and the review, and I do want to know if you guys think it's just the hype wearing off, or if you think this episode is genuinely worse than the others, because I have given it probably the worst score out of the 4. Anyway, this is Rox, signing off.